Good afternoon, everyone. We're the Group 3 and we're going to present the Filipino family and culture. The family. So, family is considered to be the foundation of social life for most Filipinos. Filipinos highly value the presence of their families more than anything. Regardless of liberal influence they have gotten from the West, the family remain the basic unit of their society. So, why is it in our culture we consider family to be the foundation of social life? It's because basic education starts at home. Our family, specifically our parents, is our first teacher. What we basically need to know is taught by our family. Our attitudes, our character, how we get along with other people, and how we manage certain situations. It is the teachings that we brought and shown in public. That's why family is the foundation of our social life, the basic unit of our society that tells that who your family is who you are too. Another one. Why in our culture we highly value the presence of our family more than anything else? It's because Filipinos are family-centered. We are close to each other, such in terms that we eat together, we laugh and cry together, and in certain problems that we have, even if we are down and left by people, criticized by people, abused by people, or even left by our friends, there is always a family who will accept us and take care of us, simply because we're family, and no matter what happened, we have the same blood that runs through our veins. In a traditional Filipino family, the father is considered the head and the provider of the family, and is something called haligi ng tahanan or pillar of the house, while the mother takes responsibility for the domestic and emotional needs of the children and is referred to as the ilaw ng tahanan or light of the house. The father being the pillar would mean that he is the prominent supporter of a home. We consider him as someone who keeps our home standing firm against the attack of any intruder. We also consider him as the provider of a home, the breadwinner. So, I guess everyone is familiar with this, but let me elaborate this once again based on the previous and new era of culture that Filipino has today. So, our tatay, papa, daddy, ama, erpat, or whatever you call your father, we consider them as the ruler, the person who needs to secure the family, the one who provides our needs, and basically called as haligi ng tahanan. While our nanay, mama, mami, ina, ermat, or whatever how you call your mother, it is the person who takes over the home, the household chores, the family, and the children, and referred to as the ilaw ng tahanan. However, in this generation of culture, we suddenly hear the same call like haligi ng tahanan and ilaw ng tahanan in a one person. This was happened because some of the family is not complete in different reasons. And as a single parent of her or his children, he or she don't want to feel emptiness in her or his children. That's why they work hard, even working for a double role, just to make everything's fine because they love their family. The nuclear family is the core family unit. However, bonds are often tight-knit among extended family members. Indeed, people may have been encouraged to have a relationship with their aunts and uncles that is just strong as the relationship with their parents. Close familial relationships often go beyond one's genetic connections or bloodlines to incorporate distant relatives, close neighbors, or friends. For example, It is common to hear people refer to distant relatives or non-relatives with familial terms such as tita or aunt, tito or uncle, lola, grandmother, and lolo or grandfather. And one instance is when a grandchild refer to their grandparents, friend, or cousin as lolo or lola. So, the family here in the Philippines, or specifically in our culture, is not only based on mother, father, and children. It is because we are close to some of our aunts and uncles, lolas and lolas, cousins, or even to our far relatives, neighbors, friends, and etc. Because we believe that family is family as long there is love. So, for further explanation, this topic will be discussed by my colleagues in their respective topics. In the Philippines, family life is highly treasured and households often include extended family. The average rural has about 3 children, while urban families tend to be smaller. So, aside from valuing family in our culture, we also treasured it as if this is the best gift that we have from God, especially for those complete family. And also for the families who are not complete, we are still thankful and blessed, even if someone already passed away, left away, or even didn't try to show even once. So, the average children of urban families is much larger compared to the families in urban area. So, how we say so? It's because some of the families in the urban area focuses in their work compared to the rural people wherein we can hear that they have 12 children and or below. The main responsibility of most children is to complete their education, but some children are also expected to work for their families. So a while ago, we discussed the role of our parents as haligi and ilaw ng tahanan. So as children, our responsibility as their sons and daughters is to finish our studies. So why do I say so? It's because according to the statements of some of our parents, usually from rural areas, tanging edukasyon lamang ang isang kayamanan na aming maipapamana sa inyo na hindi makukuha ni numan. Kung kaya't magsipag kayo at huwag sumuko. Or in other words, education is the only treasure we can pass on to you that no one else can get. So work hard and don't give up. On the other side, some roles of the children is to work for their family and not to take education. So why is it happen? It's because of poverty. It usually happen in our indigenous communities that they should prioritize what they're going to eat first, how they can help their family earn money, and how can they survive everyday's life before their personal interest. This is how diverse our culture of family in the Philippines. We are indeed diverse and has different paths and destinies in our life. After children marry, many decide to continue living with their parents. Children are usually disciplined by both their mothers and father, but a mother's advice is especially taken seriously. So in our culture, we can stay from our parents even if we are already married. I don't know, but it's in our culture. That's why even we have children already, it is not that difficult to take care of them because we have the guide from our parents, especially the advice coming from our mother. So, as parents age, it is the responsibility of their adult children to take care of them. Many women work outside the home, sometimes even overseas. So in Filipino culture, when our parents get old, the cargo will be in their children. Not the same culture from foreign countries that they've sent their parents in places like home for the aged. So why do you think we take responsibility to take care of them? It's because we love our parents. Like what I've said a while ago, in our culture, family is highly treasured and valued. Therefore, taking care of our parents when they get old is the only way we can thank them from those sacrifices they have done for us.
Filial piety. It is understood as essential to maintain collectively face of the family and avoid practicing hiya. See, social interaction and hiya is a core concept. So when we talk about filial piety, it is the honor and respect younger generations have for their elders. Family is very important in Filipino cultures. And care of your parents, grandparents, uncles, and aunties, as the age is very common and treasured practice. The specific word for the respect of your elders is came from Confucianism, sometimes between 551 to 479 BCE. Still today, filial piety is very focused to maintain social order. Father to son, wife to husband, older brother to over younger brother. These rules mostly restrict women and youth to what they could and could not do or say. But now, this concept is much less structured and spread all across Filipino, expressed in different form, and now usually seen in more modern areas as the general practice of appreciation and admiration for those older than you. This respect toward your elders is not only limited to your grandparents and family. It applies to almost everyone. Your friends, your teachers, your employees, or employees. Regardless of their status or trade respect is always paid to those who live longer. This concept is so ingrained into our culture that things is that normal to us. For example, saying po at opo. This is symbolize of respect to older than you. And this is the one of the culture of the Filipino. The last examples is pagmamano. This culture of the Filipino is a sign of respect to elders and is a way of requesting a blessing from the elders. And this lesson is to do something nice to show your appreciation in that person.
Good afternoon, everyone. Household structures and transnational families. In a Filipino household, it is common to find three generations living together. Often, grandparents play a large role in raising their grandchildren. Extended family will often live relatively close to one another and will come together during large celebration. It is common to find families in the Philippines that have some members who return to their family home during weekends after spending a week in major cities of work or study. Filipino are very busy when it comes to their daily life, daily activities. But when it comes to their family, they make it a point to have time and see each other every day or as often as they want. Since the 1970s, the Philippines has been exporting labor abroad with some members engaging in paid labor abroad while many remain in their hometown or village. This means that many Filipino families are spread across the world. Filipino society has widely adapted to the change in family structure. Some parents will leave their children in the Philippines to seek labor abroad to better support their family left behind. In turn, they will send back remittance to their parents or siblings who have been given the duty to caring for the child. It is also common to find aunts, uncles, and grandparents taking care of their nieces, nephews, or grandchildren by sending remittance back to the Philippines to pay for their education. Those living abroad with left-behind families will attempt to see their family once a year by returning home to the Philippines during their break from work in another country. This can be particularly difficult for those with children or elderly parents in the Philippines. To support their families in the Philippines, Filipinos abroad will send a balikbayan box containing various items such as clothing, household objects, and gifts for their families. For OFWs, the balikbayan back is an enduring testament of their sacrifice and hard work abroad in order to secure a better future for their families back home. In the Australian context, it can be quite emotionally distressing for some Filipinos intercultural marriage to be denied the opportunity to send remittance home or unable to visit their family, as they feel they are failing to uphold their duty towards their family.
Good day everyone, I am Lea Bernal, and for today, let me discuss to you about the gender roles and the dating marriage of the Filipino culture. So, the gender roles in Filipino society is tagged as patriarchal. This is in part due to the machismo attitude in the masculine standards of many Filipino men. So, it means that the Filipino men are in charge of cultivating land and categorized into the more dominating roles in society. It is seen that the men in the Philippines hold a higher rank than a woman in regards of gender roles. The female influence is significant throughout the country, with many women holding a senior roles throughout the business and the government. In the household is usually the oldest female, often the grandmother. Income from the family members is often pulled together, then the matriarch will look after the family finances. The men are expected to have more freedom and provide for their families, while the women usually stay at home and complete chores, as well as take care of their elderly and children of the household. The men are expected to have more freedom and provide for their families, while the women usually stay at home and complete chores, as well as take care of their elderly and children of the household. In the Philippines, dating often comes in stages, beginning with courtship. Typically, a man will try to impress a female by courting her. If the woman considers the man to be a good suitor, they will continue dating. Harana is one of the traditional courtship practice in the Philippines, where men introduce themselves and woo their admired lady by serenading underneath her window at night. During those times, when harana was still commonly done in the Philippines, gentlemen who were not blessed with the gift of music can still court their desired ladies through harana. They had done this by way of inviting their friends and other musicians in town to accompany them in executing these romantic gestures. And for today's generation, harana is no longer a common dating practice among young lovers in the Philippines. Although there are still gentlemen who prefer to render a love song for their chosen lady, they no longer perform this outside her house. Instead, plenty of them do this at malls, clubs, or in social media such as voice message or video call. Individuals have a significant level of freedom in terms of choosing marriage partners. Although the choice of a spouse may be influenced by the preferences of the family, in some families it is expected for the prospective partner to gain the approval of their potential in-laws. However, in urban areas, dating and marriage practice tend to be less conservative and becoming more influenced by the West. Expectations and practices of marriage are heavily shaped by the Catholic Church. Marriage is understood as a milestone, and it is expected that individuals will one day marry a suitable partner. Having children out of wedlock is generally frowned upon in Filipino society. Thus, many couples will marry before giving birth to their child to avoid social repercussions. Monogamy is the norm and divorce is both socially stigmatized and illegal. However, views on marriage are changing. For example, there is now more acceptance of a person's choice to remain single if they wish to be so. A Filipino wedding starts with what we call pamamanhikan, where the groom and his family goes to the bride's home to meet her parents and formally ask for her hand in marriage. After getting the blessings of their respected families, it is time to inform the rest of their clan. This tradition, called paalam, and it is the time when the couple personally visits their friends and families to break the good news of their impending wedding.
Mabuhay! My name is Saera Barang and today I will be discussing the traditional Filipino values that make us distinct among others. According to Jamie Sawyer, good morals and values start at home and a uniform won't change that. The majority of Philippine population is bonded together by values and traits that are first taught at home and applied in our day-to-day lives. Every country has its differing values and stereotypes, and Philippines is no exemption for that. We Filipinos firmly believe that our country has the best values in the world. Although we have been colonized by several countries, many core values from our ancestors remain intact and still honored to this day. Filipinos are not perfect, but we have great characteristics and qualities that every one of us should be proud of. So here are some of the family values Filipinos have. Some of these values may include obtaining knowledge, wisdom, and necessary skills, and then using them in your home and living out the values you acquired within the family. First is the pagpapahalaga sa pamilya or family-oriented. Filipinos are known for having strong and close family ties. They place high regard and put importance on their family before anything else. They work all day and do all they can do to feed and provide for their family. Pagpapahalaga sa pamilya, in other words, is that putting importance on your family. This implies that a person will place high regard on their family and prioritize that before anything else. For example, this is why it's not uncommon for a father or a mother in a Filipino family from the Philippines to seek employment abroad or a job because they don't want just to earn a decent wage for their family. They place the utmost priority or meeting the family's basic needs and toward practicing pagpapahalaga sa pamilya. Another example, in other countries when a person turned 18, he or she can live away from his or her family. In the Philippines, they value their family so much that they keep them intact through the years. Also, children are not expected to leave their parents' house until they get married and even after that. Many couples choose to stay with or close to their spouse parent. This is why it's common to see different generations or multiple family living in a single residence. Second is respect or paggalang. One of the precious things that Filipinos have is that they are respectful. Youth, young, and people of all ages know how to show respect and courtesy. Filipinos are accustomed to using the words po, opo, and ho when they are communicating with other people or sometimes with those who are in a high role or a prestigious member of society. Also pagmamano, or putting the back of an elder's hand on your forehead, and calling our elder siblings or elders ate and kuya. Using these words is customary in the Philippines, and it shows a sign of respect if you do so. Paggalang can also be shown toward your elders by kissing their hands before leaving, to say goodbye, and upon arrival, or to greet them. Third is God-fearing. Though we Filipinos belong to different religious groups, we all have God or Supreme Being in our center. Filipino families sometimes go to church or pray together with their families. It is normal for families to pray together and go to church and hear Mass together. Our lives are governed by the belief that there is a loving and powerful God who has created us, and Filipinos are God-fearing people. They don't forget to pray for their sins. They don't forget to thank God when they receive blessings. And also, God help us to solve our problems. We know that God gives us challenges because He knows we can do it with His guidance and love for us. That's why many people or Filipinos really love and possess to God. Number 4 is pakikisama or helping others. Pakikisama has the connotation of getting along with people in general. Filipinos get along with different kinds of people. They can easily adjust to any situation and are flexible. This trait fosters cooperation and good and helpful deeds. When their neighbors are in trouble, they will help them in whatever they can. They also do not let their family members go through hard times alone. Instead, they help each other. This desire is what steers one to perform pakikisama. Number 5 is hospitality. One of the most popular qualities Filipinos have is that they are very hospitable. Why? Is it because when there are visitors at home, they will do a lot of preparations for good entertainment and accommodations so that they will feel at home and enjoy their stay. So when there is a occasion and there is a lot of food, so you can expect to have takeouts or pabalot after. As friendly as they are known for, the hospitality of Filipinos is a common trait that can be recognized through their convivial and heartwarming character. This can typically observe in how Filipinos pleasantly welcome their guests, whether locals or foreigners. Tuloy ka or tuloy kayo is a Filipino warm welcoming expression that shows kind accommodations to their visitors. Number 6 is utang na loob. Means to pay your debt with gratitude. This trait shows a sense of a duty and responsibility. Filipinos know how to repay other people. When someone helps us, we return the favors with goodness, which can lead to others viewing you in a favorable light. With utang na loob, there is usually a system of obligation. When this value is applied, it impacts a sense of duty and responsibility on the younger siblings to serve and repay the favors done to them by their elders. Last is love and happiness. In a Filipino family, our parents usually cook for us. That's one of the ways to show their love for us. Also, through good and bad times, Filipino always find a way to smile and be happy. Whatever the problem is, we are already reminded that our family is always there to love and support us no matter what. Filipino values will prevail even if years will pass by. It will never be removed because it serves as a distinction among other races. It's more fun in the Philippines, and it's the best to be part of a Filipino family. Always remember, these Filipino values are very important in the modern world because it teaches human being how to respect other beings, others, how to be supported to a friend, a benefactor, how to adapt yourself into the things you are not familiar with, and make Filipinos build a good relationship with our family and other people. Thank you and God bless.
Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about culture. The Philippines is a culture in which East-West. The Filipino people have distinct Asian background with a strong Western tradition. The modern Filipino culture develops through influence by Chinese traders, Spanish conquistadors, and American rulers. Filipino people tend to be very hospitable, especially to the Western visitors. Because of their strong ties to Spanish culture, Filipinos emotional and passionate about life in a way that seems more Latin than Asian. This is easily seen in the work of contemporary artists such as Rudy Herrera in his painting Unahan sa Dulahan. Family. Family is the basic and the most important aspect of Filipino culture. Divorce is prohibited and annulments are rare. The family is a safety net for individuals, especially older people, during difficult economic times. So, why divorce is illegal in the Philippines? Here in the Philippines, the majority of people are Catholics. So, most of the people here believes of the sanctity of marriage. And we Filipinos we are very conservative people. Most of the things that oppose our religions aren't accepted right away, especially older people. Children will often stay with their parents into adulthood, only leaving when they get married. Political and business ties are often influenced by family relationships. So, it's our culture as a Filipino to stay to our parents' house even we get older or married. In short, we're known as strong family ties. We put important to our family before anything else. Two traits that many foreign visitors often have difficult times understanding. First, pakikisama. Pakikisama roughly means getting along and requires individuals overlooks life, improprieties, or indiscretion for the sake of preserving peace within the family, personal, or business relationship. So, this practice or pakikisama in family is very evident in two ways. First, there's not a time when parents gather the children and teach them pakikisama. They have to learn by seeing the way their parents act. In this case, the parents want the children to know how to answer, ask, or disagree by using diplomatic skills. If the parents want to know want to make the children aware about the job, which they should do. They would use a careful way to express it. For example, is instead of saying the house is which you are living is dirty, we'll say if we can clean our house, it could be more beautiful. Therefore, the children will understand that they have to clean the house. When the children start to understand how be diplomatic by asking or telling things, they started. Second, we reach pakikisama as a harmony oriented in the family according to Alfredo and Grace Roses. Pakikisama is desired skill taught to youth. It is evolved to win over our recalcitrant individuals to a family's policy to make it unanimous. We can see that in some house family, there is not only the nuclear family who are living there, but also extended family. Owing to pakikisama, we should welcome our relatives in our house and help them as much as we can. In this case, the resibo pakikisama can give thanks for this, not by giving money, but cleaning the house or cooking from other household chores. Utang na loob. Utang na loob refers to the custom of paying back one's favor with another. These traits emphasize the importance that Filipino people place on maintaining pleasant interpersonal relationships and putting the needs of the group ahead of the individual. So, utang na loob is in Tagalog word of debt of gratitude. Literally means debt inside. It means with debt to others from place, depth within yourself, deep within your heart. You owe someone's loyalty, and you are regards forever because of something they did for you. It's not just a point of scoreboard or a voucher that is cash in. It is a depth inside that it represents that the person you are, a grateful person, a respectful person, a giving person, a selfless person. And that is why Western people say Filipino is so nice. Religion. More than 80% of the population in the Philippines is Roman Catholic. Fiesta is honor of the patron saint of the town are quite common criticism of the Catholic Church and not taken lightly and should be avoided. So the religion in the Philippines is unique among their neighbors of Southeast Asian region. In the majority of Filipino, there continues to be a process of cultural adaptation and synthesis of Christianity into local culture since the introduction of religion in the Philippines. The domination of Christianity that becomes more embedded in Filipino culture is Catholicism, which was introduced in the Philippines during the colonial period by the Spanish. Catholic ideas continues to inform beliefs throughout Filipino society, such as sanctity of life and respect for hierarchy as branch of Christianity. Catholicism believes in the Creation of God as a Holy Trinity comprises the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Like most Catholics, many Filipinos accept the authority of priesthood in the Roman Catholic Church, which is led by the Pope. For many Filipinos, the times of fiesta is an important event within the community. During the event of fiesta, the local community comes together to celebrate the special day of patron saint of a town or barangay. It is a time for feasting, bonding, and paying homage to the patron saint. Houses are open to guests and plenty of food is served. The fiesta nearly always include a mass, but its primary purpose is social gathering of the community on the day-to-day level. Catholic iconography is evident throughout the Philippines. Greetings. In the Philippines, people greet each other with a handshake, a smile, or raised eyebrows can name hello or yes. Someone can be summoned with a downward raise of the hand. So greetings example is handshaking. Just like in a most country, handshaking is default gesture among Filipinos when meeting someone for the first time. While both men and women greet each other through handshaking, it's usually person being introduced who first offers their hand. In some cases, men have to wait for men to offer the hand first. Another is nodding or raising brows with a smile. Raising your brows while flashing a smile is another way of greeting a friend or acquaintance in a casual manner. The same goes for nodding and slightly lifting the head to indicate yes, which means you acknowledge the presence of your colleague who passed by. Of course, it's an entirely different case when someone happens to raise their brows while giving you a serious look.
Popular culture is the accumulation of culture product. It discusses new forms in art, music, and literature, arising from opportunities and demands of mass audience, markets, and mass media and their social, economic, and political contexts. Popular culture has mass accessibility and appeal. Popular culture is the set of practices, beliefs, and objects that embody the most broadly shared meanings of a social system. It includes media objects, entertainment and leisure, fashion and trends, and linguistic convention, among other things. The term popular culture was coined in 19th century or earlier. According to Benvenido Lumbera, popular culture in the Philippines was created and used by Spaniards to the native Filipinos or Indios via plays and literature to get the heart of the natives. The colonial origin of popular culture formed in the Philippines can be traced by looking at salient development in Philippine literature. Popular culture, according to Lombera, in his book Revolution, essay on Philippine literature, theatre and popular culture is highly different from the folk culture and nationalist culture of the Filipinos. In a nutshell, folk culture is the way of living in a place in a specific time and portrays the practices of a certain people and how they cope to survive with nature. National culture is a culture created through colonial resistance and the collective of people on a given place and time. These two are different from popular culture, which can be traced even a period of Hispanization of the Philippines. The first permanent Spanish settlement began replacing the native culture with a Christian and European tradition. In today's era, popular culture reveals modern characteristics of modern society. Popular culture produced in East and Southeast Asia often reaches a global audience and impacts the popular culture of many parts of the world. New media have become essential to the products, circulation, and consumption of popular culture. Hugot is life. Hugot is basically the deep, lingering emotions brought about a person, circumstances, and experiences. It is based on someone's emotion, either when they are in love, sad, happy, or any emotion that may affect someone's way of thinking. The feeling of a person is the cause of their hugot. Milk tea is the new coffee. Milk tea became popular because of the social media. Before gaining the popularity, many shops have been offered a different flavor of milk tea, and with the use of social media, milk tea became the new trend. Yeah. The daily dose of teleserye or prime of series are often criticized for their seemingly endless storylines. Ang Probinsyano, for instance, the main character whose specialty is to cheat death after countless near-death experience. The memes of the action scene become the most iconic in Philippine TV history. Popular culture comes and goes along with the shifting beliefs and activities. They are technically inessential, but they give color to the ordinary and add flavor to the humdrum bustle of life.
Some Filipino culture we must know. Filipinos are very resilient. In times of calamities and catastrophes, Filipinos always manage to rise above the challenge. Even if we had a lot of problems, we managed to pick ourselves up and smile instead of complaining. Filipinos have learned to appreciate what they have, make the most of it, and tolerate difficulties. Resilient is a deeply rooted characteristic that makes up the Filipino identity and creates a sense of community and compassion. Filipinos take pride in their families. In the Philippines, it is family first. So whether you are part of immediate family or you belong to the third or fourth generation, you are treated as a family member. For most Filipinos, family is considered the foundation of social life. The nuclear family is the core family unit, but bonds are often tight among extended family member. And that people may be encouraged to have a relationship with their aunts and uncles that it is just as strong as the relationship with their parents. Close familial relationship often go beyond one genetic connection or bloodlines to incorporate distant relatives. Close neighbors or friends, for example, it is common to hear people refer to distant relatives or non-relatives with familiar term such as tita, tito, lola, and lolo. In a Filipino household, it is common to find three generations living together. Often, grandparents play a large role in raising their grandchildren. Extended family will often live relatively close to one another and come together during large celebration. It is common to find families in the Philippines that have some member who return to their family home during weekends after spending a week in major cities for work or study. And sometimes even the closest friends are considered family too. Filipinos are very religious. In all corners of a Filipino house, you can find brazen images of crosses and other religious paraphernalia. They go to church every Sunday or sometimes even twice or three times a week. It is common to find churches and statues of various saints all throughout the country. Moreover, many towns and cities are named after saints. For example, San Miguel. Saint Michael is located in Luzon, and Santa Catalina, Saint Catherine located in Visayas. We also have Simbang Gabi, which is celebrated for the spiritual preparation for Christmas and commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ. Filipinos are very respectful. In highly urbanized areas like in Manila, the elderly usually say, "Bless you" or "God bless you." Aside from this, from the moment that we are born into this world, we are already taught how to be respectful by using the simple catchphrases. Po and opo, words that end sentences when addressing the elderly. These are the words that Filipinos use to show respect when talking to the elderly or to someone that they respect. We also have a culture of pagmamano. Mano or pagmamano is an honoring gesture used in Filipino culture as a sign of respect to the elderly and as a way of requesting a blessing from the elder. Similar to hand kissing, the person giving the greetings bows towards the hands of the elders and presses their forehead on the elder hand. Filipinos help one another, more popularly known as bayanihan. Filipinos help one another without expecting anything in return, so that undertaking their tasks and responsibilities become much easier. Sometimes this is community spirit, although bayanihan can manifest itself in many forms. It is probably most clearly and impressively displayed in the old tradition of neighbor helping a relocating family by getting enough volunteer to carry the whole house and literally move to its new location. Filipinos value tradition and culture. For Filipinos, tradition and their home and their families are important. They usually set aside a specific day for a certain celebration, like festival, birthday parties, reunion, etc. And of course, every gathering is dedicated to keeping up with each other over sumptuous food. In our culture, since we highly value the presence of our family, we give importance to events like family gathering, parties, and reunions, and we are usually present on the occasion. Even if we are sometimes late due to busy schedule, as long as we can come. It is greatly appreciated for the time that we're not able to attend. We have a certain attitude that babawi kami next time. Filipinos love to party. Yes, Filipinos love to hold celebration and fiesta. Bacolod has its Mascara Festival, Davao has its Kadayawan Festival, and Marinduque has its Moriones Festival, and many more. Filipinos really love to have fun and party. Since the Philippines is known for its famous festival, we can see how Filipinos support these events. Sometimes we just come to celebrate the party, to have fun and to enjoy yourself because we Filipinos are known for our incredible smiles. Filipinos have the longest Christmas celebration. Even as early as August, you can hear Christmas songs and jingles being played in the mall or in the restaurants in the Philippines. The mood becomes festive with many people shopping and in good spirits. Christmas celebration lasts until around the first or second week of January. Because the Philippines is a Christian country and Filipinos love Christmas, you can find Christmas decoration and hear Christmas song all over the country. The celebration also symbolizes the gift we can receive from our ninos and ninangs, more different parties, bonuses, and more foods, which is really unique and well known in our culture. Filipinos love to eat. Aside from breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Filipinos manage to squeeze in a little meal in between too. Whether they eat every hour or every 3 hours, they savor every bite. In our culture, we believe that food is life, and I think no one can deny this. Knowing we had a lot of Filipino foods, exotic and commercial, the taste of our food is very unique. That's why you can see there are a lot of Filipinos eating whenever we want to eat.
Number 10. Filipinos love to sing. This is the reason why karaoke has become so prevalent. As part of their recreation, Filipinos spend some quality time with their families or friends, singing or belting out new and old songs. Filipino is to be known as the greatest singers in the world. Why is it? Because no one can tell how we love to sing, especially when there's karaoke. This karaoke becomes a habit during birthdays, weddings, reunions, and etc. and turns to be the bonding of friends and families, both young and old people. And it is very famous up until these days. Number 11. Filipinos love art and architecture. Just look at the massive and tall buildings everywhere. Filipinos have a penchant for bringing art and architecture to a whole new level. They love to design creatively, to think intuitively, and to have a passion for anything different and unique. So Filipinos are really artistic. There are a lot of Filipino behind the famous buildings, not only in our country but all around the world. Filipino minds and creativity is something that we have. That's why we are known in this field. Our creativity and artistic level is different from other cultures. So that is the family and culture of Filipinos. We are indeed unique. We are indeed diverse. But no matter what happened, our culture is tatak makabansa, tatak maka-Pilipino. Thank you at maraming salamat po. Mabuhay.